If you have ever boarded a plane, folded yourself into a seat that felt designed for someone half your size, and spent the next 6 hours shifting, stretching, and quietly suffering, stop for a moment and listen carefully. I hear this from passengers almost every single flight. Maria, is there anything I can do about the legroom? Is this just how flying works? Just last week, a 58-year-old passenger named Robert came onto my flight from Chicago to London. Lovely man, retired teacher. He had paid full price for his economy ticket, settled into his middle seat near the back of the plane, and accepted his fate with a polite smile. What he did not know was this. 3 rows in front of him sat an empty exit row. The seats had gone unclaimed. He could have been sitting there for free. Not because he was lucky, because he did not know how to ask. He was not being careless. He was missing the silent insider secrets that flight attendants, gate agents, and frequent flyers use every single time they board a plane. New research into airline seating patterns shows that one very common mistake, especially among passengers who fly only a few times a year, allows airlines to fill uncomfortable seats while better options go empty or get assigned for free to passengers who simply know the right moves. I am Maria, a senior flight attendant with over 19 years of experience flying for a major international airline. And in this video, I will explain that mistake, why millions of passengers are completely unaware of it, and the 5 proven ways to get more legroom on your next flight without spending a single extra dollar. Before we dive in, drop a comment with where you are flying next and where you are watching from today. Have you been paying extra for legroom, or just suffering in silence and assuming there's no other option? Write your answer below, because your experience helps our entire community. And hit that subscribe button, because I share insider flight secrets like this every single week to help you travel smarter and arrive feeling human. The mistake almost every passenger makes. Most people believe that if they bought the ticket, the seat they were assigned is the seat they are stuck with. They accept the middle seat in row 34. They squeeze their knees against the tray table. They arrive at their destination stiff, sore, and swearing they will never fly economy again. But here's the truth. The worst legroom on your flight is not inevitable. It's a default. And defaults exist to be changed, if you know how. The hidden secret that frequent flyers and airline insiders know is this. Every single flight has seats with significantly more legroom that never make it into the standard booking process. They sit quietly in the system, available to the right passenger at the right moment. Airlines are not hiding them out of cruelty. They are simply not advertising them to passengers who do not know to ask. I watched this play out with a passenger named Linda, age 44. She was a marketing consultant who flew 4 to 6 times a year for work. Every trip, she paid the airline's upgrade fee for extra legroom. She assumed that was her only option. One day, running late, she boarded without having pre-selected a seat. She was assigned a seat near the emergency exit. More legroom than she had ever paid for, at no additional cost. She turned to me during boarding and said, "Maria, why have I been paying extra this whole time?" The answer is simple. She had never learned the 5 methods that change everything about how you experience economy class. If you are finding this helpful, go ahead and hit that like button. It really supports the channel and helps us reach more frustrated travelers who need this information. Method number 1, the seat map strategy. Know before you book. If you look at how most passengers book flights, they go straight to the price, pick the cheapest option, confirm the ticket, and never look at the seat map. They never look at the seat map. That single omission costs them hours of discomfort on every flight. Here is what airline insiders know. Seat maps are not just diagrams. They are treasure maps. Every seat on that aircraft has a measurable pitch, the distance between your seat and the one in front of you. Standard economy seats on most major carriers average between 28 and 31 inches of pitch. Exit row seats, bulkhead seats, and certain premium economy rows regularly offer 34 to 38 inches or more. The difference between 29 inches and 36 inches of legroom is the difference between pain and comfort on a long flight. I saw this with a passenger named James, age 62, a retired engineer who flew frequently to visit his grandchildren across the country. His knees would ache for days after every flight. He assumed this was just his age catching up with him. When I asked him how he selected his seat, he told me he let the airline assign it automatically. When we pulled up his booking together, I showed him that his aircraft had two bulkhead rows, seats directly behind a cabin divider wall with 6 inches of extra pitch. Those seats were completely available at the time of booking. He had flown that same route 11 times and had never once sat in them. The tool every traveler needs is SeatGuru.com or the Seat Map tool inside Google Flights. Before you confirm any booking, enter your flight number and pull up the exact aircraft layout. Color-coded ratings will show you which seats have extra legroom, which have limited recline, and which are near lavatories. Green means good. Yellow means caution. Red means avoid. The key lesson here is simple. If you are booking flights without checking the seat map first, you are flying blind. 5 minutes of research before you confirm your ticket can change every hour of your journey. Now we come to the second proven method, and this one directly saves passengers from paying upgrade fees every year. Method number 2. The check-in timing window, when the free seats unlock. Many passengers either check in the moment the window opens or check in at the airport without a strategy. They get whatever is left. But seat availability is not random. It follows a predictable pattern that works in your favor, if you understand it. Airlines hold certain premium economy and exit row seats out of the general booking pool. They reserve them for elite frequent flyers, passengers with medical needs, and customers willing to pay upgrade fees. But here is what most passengers never discover. Approximately 24 hours before departure, airlines release unclaimed seats from these reserved pools back into general availability, often at no charge. I watched this work for a passenger named Grace, age 51, a nurse who flew every few months for family visits. She had checked in 23 hours before her flight, been assigned a standard middle seat, and was resigned to discomfort. On a tip from a gate agent friend, she checked back into the system exactly 22 hours before departure. An exit row aisle seat had just been released. She moved herself into it in under 2 minutes. 4 inches of additional legroom, no fee, no upgrade required. This 22 to 24-hour window is the single most reliable free legroom opportunity on any domestic or short-haul international flight. Set an alarm on your phone for exactly 24 hours before your departure. Open the airline's app or website the moment check-in becomes available. Navigate directly to the seat map. Look immediately at exit rows 1 through 4 if they exist in economy, and any bulkhead positions. Move fast. These seats go quickly once they are released. For international long-haul flights, the window may open 48 hours before departure. Check your specific airline's policy. And always check again 3 to 4 hours before departure for last-minute seat changes caused by equipment swaps, passenger no-shows, or gate reassignments. A passenger named David, age 38, used this method on a transatlantic flight. He checked in at exactly the 24-hour mark, found a bulkhead row seat in economy with nearly 40 inches of pitch had just been released, and spent his overnight flight with enough room to actually sleep. He messaged me afterward and said it was the first time he had arrived in Europe feeling like a human being. Method number 3, the gate agent conversation. The ask most passengers never make. For most passengers, the gate agent interaction is purely transactional. Scan the boarding pass, walk on, sit down. They never consider that the gate agent has full visibility into every seat on that aircraft, including which premium legroom seats remain empty 3 minutes before the door closes. Gate agents have discretionary authority to reassign seats without charging upgrade fees. Not every agent will do it. Not every flight will have availability. But the passengers who ask quietly, politely, and at the right moment are the ones who board with better seats. The right moment is not when 200 people are lined up behind you at the desk. The right moment is during the quiet period, after the initial boarding rush, when gate agents are confirming the final passenger count and closing out the manifest. Approach the desk calmly, smile, make eye contact. Say something like, "Excuse me, I know you're busy. I just wanted to ask if there happens to be any exit row or extra legroom seat available before we board. I completely understand if not." That phrasing matters. It acknowledges their time. It removes pressure. It gives them a graceful way to say no. And when they say yes, which happens more often than most passengers realize, it is because you treated them like a human being rather than a service counter. I witnessed this with a passenger named Elena, age 33, a graphic designer flying home after a conference. She was 5'10", and standard economy seats genuinely caused her physical discomfort. She approached the gate desk during the quiet window, asked that exact question, and was moved to an exit row with 36 inches of pitch, the last available seat in that row, at no charge. The gate agent simply had not been asked by anyone else. The key principle is this: gate agents are not withholding comfort from you out of indifference. They are responding to the passengers in front of them. Be the passenger who asks kindly, and asks at the right moment. The seat often exists. The question is whether you make it. Hashtag method number 4. Recognizing the legroom signals your flight is already giving you. Most passengers dismiss the signs that better options exist on their specific flight. A quieter cabin, fewer passengers in the forward rows, gate agents who seem relaxed rather than rushed. These are signals, and they tell you something important about what is still available. Flights that are not fully booked are your greatest opportunity. An aircraft at 70% capacity almost always has exit rows and bulkhead seats sitting empty. The airline has no financial reason to keep those seats unoccupied. Signs that your flight may have better seats available. The gate area is noticeably quiet. You hear gate agents offering voluntary rebooking incentives for a later flight, indicating the plane is oversold in one cabin, but not another. You notice on the seat map that exit rows showed as blocked during booking, but are now appearing as open. Or, a gate agent makes an announcement about seat availability before boarding begins. I saw this clearly with a passenger named Marcus, age 47, a sales manager who flew weekly. He had developed the habit of watching the gate area like a chess player reads a board. On a Monday morning flight from Dallas to New York, he noticed the gate was unusually quiet and the boarding agents were relaxed. He approached the desk 12 minutes before boarding, asked his question, and was given a seat in the premium economy bulkhead, with 38 inches of pitch, that had originally been reserved for a passenger who had missed the connection. No fee, no drama, just awareness and timing. The key principle is this: every flight is a dynamic environment. Seat availability changes up until the moment the door closes. Passengers who treat their assigned seat as fixed from the moment of booking are leaving comfort on the table every single time they fly. Your seat assignment is a starting point, not a sentence. Method number 5. The anti-cramping flight strategy, maximizing the space you already have. This surprises most passengers because it is not about getting a different seat. It is about using the seat you have far more effectively than almost anyone around you does. Standard economy seats feel more cramped than they need to because passengers sit in them the wrong way. After 19 years in the cabin, I can see within minutes which passengers understand how to use their space and which ones will spend the entire flight uncomfortable. Here is what the experienced travelers do differently. Bag placement is everything. The single biggest mistake economy passengers make is putting their personal item under the seat in front of them. That bag is consuming 40% of your usable foot space. If the overhead bin above your row is full, walk forward 3 or 4 rows. Bins fill from the back of the plane forward. There is almost always space in a forward bin. A flight attendant can help you find it. Your feet will thank you for the entire flight. The aisle lean. Aisle seat passengers have an invisible extension of their space that most never use. You can angle your outside knee and shoulder slightly into the aisle during cruise. Not aggressively, just enough to decompress. During meal service and movement, you pull back. Between those moments, that extra few inches of angle takes genuine pressure off your hips and lower back. Seat recline timing. Most passengers recline immediately after takeoff, which immediately compresses the person behind them and creates a chain reaction of discomfort through the cabin. Experienced travelers recline only during actual sleep periods on overnight flights and return upright during meal service. When everyone follows this unspoken protocol, the entire cabin has measurably more functional space. I worked with a passenger named Thomas on a 9-hour flight from London to New York. He was 6 feet 2 inches tall, in a standard economy seat, visibly preparing for misery. We talked through every one of these adjustments. He moved his bag to a forward overhead bin. He took the aisle lean position. He did not recline until the cabin lights dimmed. He stood and walked the aisle every 90 minutes for 3 minutes. He arrived in New York and told me it was the most comfortable economy flight he had taken in years, in the same seat he would have suffered through before. The root cause of in-flight discomfort is not always the seat. It is often the way passengers use the space around it. Small adjustments, applied consistently, change the physical experience of every hour you spend in the air. Hashtag bringing it all together. What I want you to take from this video is one simple truth. Legroom on a flight is not purely a product you must purchase. It is a resource that moves, unlocks, and becomes available at specific moments, to the passengers who know when and how to reach for it. Check the seat map before you book. Set your alarm for the 24-hour check-in window. Learn how to approach a gate agent at the right moment with the right words. Read the signals your flight is giving you about available space. And use every inch of the seat you have with intention rather than resignation. Robert, the retired teacher from the beginning of this video. I found him on that London flight during the meal service. I mentioned there was still an exit row seat available and walked him back to it. He sat down, stretched his legs fully for the first time in years on a flight, looked up at me, and said, "Why does nobody tell you this?" Now you know. Share this video with someone who has a flight coming up and has been dreading the legroom. Leave a comment telling me your best flight tip or your worst legroom story. I read every single one. And I will see you in the next video, where we talk about how to get upgraded without a loyalty program, using a strategy most passengers have never even heard of. Safe travels. I am Maria, and I will see you on board.